Wonder what that was all about. Hi, Ben's the name, and reviewing another cartoon with the name Unlimited underneath the character's name is the game. And today we're going to review Spider-Man Unlimited. I know this cartoon also has the word unlimited in it, and I assure you I have no idea why it does. It just happens to have the word unlimited in it. The only information I can find about why this show was made was because they wanted to make a low-budget cartoon based off the first 26 issues of Spidey's comic book series. An idea I find that shows potential, but slowly degrades into crap. Why, you may ask? Because he's not even in New York for most of it. Yep, you heard me correct. Spider-Man, a hero that's well known for staying on Earth and lives in New York, is not even on Earth. He's on Counter-Earth with some rebels for some reason. Why are there rebels, you ask? Because the world is ruled by animal people. You heard me right. Animal people. Let me assure you, there's a reason why the world is ruled by animal people, but it's a stupid reason at that. One of the reasons why I think they decided to go with this idea was because Batman Beyond was coming out at the time. Which does raise a certain question to mind. Why didn't they just make a Spider-Man 2099 cartoon? It makes a lot more sense and we don't have to put up with Peter Parker going through all this crap. I just want a Spider-Man 2099 cartoon, damn it! I just want to live the dream! Please give me my dream! Anyway, yeah. Some ideas that were going to be in the show never made it. They sound really good, like Uncle Ben living in this world, which would have made some pretty good character development. But no, because Marvel decided to say, screw you, we're not going with that. Just reliever Tic Tacs, anybody? Nope, all for me. No, I still feel pretty stressed that I have to go through this. But this show does have its fans, and I don't mean to piss off the fans, but I just really don't like this show. While this show is interesting, it's interesting in a bad way. But I'm not the only person to piss off these people. I mean, Marvel did it, look. Thanks for keeping it classy, Marvel. Killing off a beloved show that you produced just for shock value. But anyway, yes. Let's review the show already. Okay, one thing we gotta get out of the way. I love the intro to this show. It's just awesome. You can have a little dance party to the music. Watch. Anyway, we open up at a launch site. Here where we find out about Counter-Earth's existence. Look, I know it sounds stupid, just roll with it. You see where we find out that John Jameson, an astronaut, who is the son of J. Jonah Jameson, you know, the jackass who hates Spider-Man no matter how much good he's done. Off to find out why the satellite they sent to Counter-Earth got destroyed by the Counter-Earth people. Again, just roll with it. I know it's stupid, but just roll with it. It's a kid's cartoon. Even though they could send a superhero to go in and save the day, find out what's going on. And no, I don't mean sending Spider-Man. It's here where we meet the web slinger himself, as Peter Parker. But oh, what a shock as we find out that his spider sense is going off for some reason. And thus he changes into Spider-Man! Yay. It is here we also find out that Venom and Carnage are the reason behind Spider-Man's spider sense going off. I have two problems with this. 1. The symbiotes don't alert Spider-Man's spider sense. 2. It's very well established that Venom and Carnage hate each other. Anyway, it turns out that Venom and Carnage are trying to stow away on the spaceship to counter Earth. Be completely and utterly honest with yourself. Do you give a crap right now? Because I sure as hell don't. Spidey stows away on the spaceship too, but I have to admit that these are actually some pretty badass designs for Carnage and Venom. It makes the two symbiotes actually look pretty damn threatening in my opinion. And Spidey himself is looking pretty cool too. The voices on the other hand are pretty damn annoying. Don't get me wrong, Spidey's voice actor is actually pretty good. It's Venom and Carnage I have a problem with.
Outgunned here. Sorry, Webhead, but this flight's booked. Nothing's going to stop us from reaching Counter-Earth and the Synoptic. The Synoptic?
My ears are bleeding already! Honestly, their voices are like nails on a chalkboard. And for some reason they can morph their form as if they were like Play-Doh, even though that's not how it works in the comics.
I'm impressed.
I'm not. Hey, Venom and Carnage boot Spider-Man off the spaceship, leaving John Jameson to be attacked or killed by these two things. Oh no. On the way down, Spidey makes a web parachute. Given the physics of how his webs work, I'm going to have to question that. Hey, Venom and Carnage get the upper hand on John Jameson. It's broadcasted on the TVs, duh. Because there's probably a camera on there. Otherwise, comic book science, of course. Of course, everyone believing what J. Jonah Jameson says, everyone blames Spider-Man for what's happened. Of course they did. Everybody hates Spider-Man for some reason. Even though there's evidence supporting that he didn't do it. Spidey doesn't help himself either because he does this.
Sorry, gentlemen, but I don't do surrender.
This doesn't help your image, Spidey. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Cut to 1 week later, everyone's hating Spider-Man more than usual, which is actually quite a surprise considering how much people hated him originally. Yeah, they hated him quite badly. People hate him so badly that they're actually scared of him when he saves a cat. And even one lady sprays a mace at him! I've only got one question in mind. I wonder what was going through his head while this was happening. Ah man, this happened with an old lady last week when I tried to save her from the tree. Ah! Hell, all of New York is actually up against him and they're just branding him more as a menace than ever. I mean, seriously, is everyone a jerk to Spider-Man in this show? Probably. Hell, even saving a woman and her child from a burning building. One of the most cliched things you can do as a superhero. Even the fire department attack him! Spider-Man, the most despised hero of all time. And here is where I hear one of the most outlandish things anyone say to a superhero.
For all we know, this fire is your doing.
What? That's just stupid. Spider-Man is as good as hero as you can get to Superman. And trust me, that's pretty damn hard. Hell, Spidey has a go at them!
I've risked my life for this stinking city. This is the thanks I get?
You're telling me! Spidey even saves the guy! I think that's enough proof to show that he's actually a superhero. If I were that guy, I'd be starting to think otherwise about Spider-Man. Anywho, all they can find is Spider-Man's mask, and 4 hours later, Spidey actually meets up with Mary Jane. And this is the only time we see her throughout the entire series. Yep, you heard me right. Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's love interest, who actually sold their marriage to the devil, that's an actual story, is only shown in 1 episode of the entire series. Anyway, John Jameson makes a transmission to show that he's alive, but really, who cares? In response to this, Spidey gets a new costume made of nanobots. Hear me right? Nanobots. Anyway, Spidey tries to stall away onto the spaceship, which apparently has no pilot. Peter Parker is many things, but a spaceship pilot, he is not. Anyway, brief cameo by Nick Fury saying he shouldn't do this, and then Spidey says, "Oh, I can do this," with Nick Fury replying with, "Can you actually fly this thing?" Spidey replying with, he didn't say yes, and I think that okay actually means, please, Nick, help me fly this thing. Actually, let me edit it a little bit. But yes, dear viewers, it actually turns out he can fly the spaceship. I'm just as amazed as you all are. And covers his tracks as Peter Parker in the worst way ever.
Peter Parker. After all, what newspaper man could turn down an opportunity like this?
Hey Dave, didn't that sound a little bit suspicious to you? No, Rob, why? Well, I mean, like, we just got a new intern who is working with the Daily Bugle and is also a photographer, but yet, somehow, Spider-Man, of all people, managed to get onto our spaceship. Your point being, Rob, does that not sound a bit fishy to you? Because I'm pretty damn sure that that is Spider-Man. Peter Parker must be Spider-Man. Rob, don't waste my time. Anyway, Spidey crosses over to Counter-Earth. Again, yay. Then gets pulled in by a tractor beam. Because
Science, of course!
Spidey then lands on Counter-Earth, only to discover that, well, Counter-Earth has robotic policemen for some reason. What even the f— Anyway, ensue fight scene! Spider-Man, ass kicker of robots. Anyway, Spidey makes his escape, swinging along as always, and then the robot policeman gets stopped by— You are kidding me with that, right? That cannot be one of the villains for the cartoon series. That is just too damn stupid.
Now what? The four horsemen of the ridiculous?
You're telling me. One of the most shocking twists throughout the entire series happens now. Turns out these guys are furries! My god, I just made a furry joke! Woo! Oh, well, I mean, oh no, I made a furry joke. That's very typical. Hey, I kid. It turns out they're actually animals spliced with human-like DNA. I know, it sounds pretty stupid. Just roll with it again. Wait a minute. Spider-Man is fighting 4 genetically altered animals who are riding on robotic horses that can fly on a different dimensional Earth. It's time to get good!
This is the mighty warrior, Ursula.
I grow impatient with all this talking, my lord.
Of course she was Russian. Why wouldn't she be Russian?
This beauty among beauties is Lady Vermin.
We should not do battle, stranger. For you are most fair to Lady Vermin's eyes.
And you are most rat-like to mine own.
Flatterer.
Okay, I think I'm—
And finally, this proud knight is Sir Ram.
Know you, spider creature, that we are the Knights of Wondergore, plenipotentiaries, most puissant of the High Evolutionary himself.
I don't really care anymore, and by the looks of it, neither is Spidey.
Spider creature? This from a goat in knight's clothing.
I completely agree with him right now, because Spidey's the only likable character so far.
Maybe I can lose him in that fog.
He tries to escape from the Knights of Wondergore, only to discover that this planet is actually full of more furries! My god! Not the milk carton! Anything but the milk carton! Anyway, another chase scene ensues, or in other words, it's time to haul ass! Okay. It's here where we discovered that there is actually some human people living on Counter-Earth. They only just live in, like, the lower parts of the cities. Again, I don't really care. Just to get away from them using the stealth mode of his suit. You heard me right, Spidey has a stealth mode. But he gets captured. And then starts to wake up in some kind of chamber where it looks like they're going to dissect him, of course. It's also here where we meet the big bad of the series, called the High Evolutionary, who's, I'm guessing, is the person who's made all the animals become spliced with humans. And episode 1 ends with a cliffhanger. Cue episode 2! Episode 2 starts off with Spidey about to be ripped open a new one, literally. Only to get his ass saved by the villain. Here where we find out that the High Evolutionary actually comes from our Earth. What a shock. And he has found this planet and found it in ruins after what the humans did. And instead of trying to help this civilization and tell Earth that we have another bunch of people on a different Earth that's similar to ours, he comes up with the idea to make spliced human animal people. Man, this villain's an idiot! Anyway, Spidey breaks free and makes sure he doesn't get a new one. Whew, I was gonna get a new butthole right there. Anyway, Spidey makes his escape with the Rebel Alliance! No, not from Star Wars, even though that would have been pretty cool to see. Anyway, after another chase scene with lasers... Woohoo! Lasers! We meet John Jameson again, and it turns out, yes, he has survived the trip. And that also means Venom and Carnage have too, which also make their reappearance here.
Stay back. You can't leave now. Not without your door prize.
Ah, the voice acting! The very terrible voice acting! It turns out the master plan is to mind control everybody with the symbiotes. That look nothing like symbiotes and more like parasites in this world. Good to know they got the source material right. Duh. Turns out the High Evolutionary has hired Venom and Carnage. Yes, Venom and Carnage to capture Spider-Man. You heard me right. Apparently they're hitmen now. Anyway, the rebel base gets infiltrated by the Knights of Wundagore. I can't believe they actually named themselves that. And they retreat after Venom and Carnage start to come along and attack Spider-Man and try and bring him back to the High Evolutionary. Man, all these names sound stupid except for Venom and Carnage and Spider-Man. Seriously, everything about this show is stupid. If I think about it, a lot of this stuff is stupid. Take a look. That's stupid. This is stupid. And that costume is stupid and ridiculous. Anyway, yes. Spidey saves everybody and even frees the symbiote-controlled people. And the rat lady gets away. Again. Then John Jameson considers even killing all of the bestials. God, that's stupid! Hey, Spidey makes him think otherwise. Yeah. Both decide they can't go home until they defeat the High Evolutionary. Or in other words, we need a new place to set up a new series! Because we're too damn lazy to go back to New York. God, this is stupid! Anyway, Peter, as Peter Parker, does save a woman and a child from a robotic policeman that we met before. And she decides to let them live with them for a while. Yeah. And that's how episode 2 ends off. So, what do I give Spider-Man Unlimited? There are certainly parts that make this thing god-awful and sometimes unbearable to watch. I have to admit, it does have its ups. But that does not mean it does not have its downs. In my opinion, it would have just worked a lot better as a Spider-Man 2099 series. You wouldn't have to have Peter Parker go into a different planet. You wouldn't have to have all this crazy stuff happen to Peter Parker. You can reinvent villains, and yet you can also still have some new characters. Like what Batman Beyond did. Hell, it could even rival it if they did that. But oh well. Anyway, yeah. the show actually gets a 4 out of 5, and really it doesn't deserve banishment like Batman Unlimited did. Because Batman Unlimited was just terrible beyond belief. So, but this is actually pretty bearable because Spidey is actually pretty cool in it. And then also the robot ass kicking scene was pretty worth it along with the intro. Well, oh well. Anyway, this is only Ben signing off.